There's a light in the sky, rising in the air. There's a feeling so strong. It's time to light the fire, like a bright shining light. Learn, getting more out of life. Love, sharing time with friends, feeling so strong.
Yes, hello, welcome to the House of Wellness, magnificent Waikiki Beach in Hawaii. We're back here again. Welcome to Rachael Finch, Hines and Joe Stanley.
Aloha.
We are loving life over here. Now, Joe, legend had it here in the 60s that this beach actually got its sand from Australia. Not true. Waikiki's man-made.
It is a man-made beach, but most of the sand is from other parts of Hawaii. They did bring sand here from Australia, but that was to make golf courses and hotels, not to make Waikiki Beach.
Now, I'm keen to have a go at surfing out the back here in a moment's time, but they're also doing some awesome stuff in the technology space over here.
Oh, look, it's medicine, it's robotics, and that's not all. I love this, Rach. There's a thing called responsible tourism.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. It's called Travel to Change, and you and I are getting our hands dirty in an effort to give back to this beautiful place.
I am so all in with that, Rach. Well, this week, I want you guys to strap yourselves in and get your taste buds ready, because I'm hitting the highway for, you guessed it, food truck.
Yeah, you love the water, Ray. It's going to be hard holding you back, I think.
I'm a huge fan, and you guys know I love my balance and flexibility work, so I'm headed out to Mother Nature. I'm going to combine the two, get in the water. Anyone joining me?
See you later.
Good luck.
See ya.
I'm going to the bar.
All right, let's grab something to eat.
Yoga. It is a huge part of my life. Bikram, aerial, yoga in the sky, I've tried them all. But here in Honolulu, they take it one step further. They do it on the water.
I mean, it'll be a little bit of a challenge, but a fun challenge. Totally doable. Some of the poses will just adjust a little bit for our balance on the water, but we go out and have fun, and falling in is fun too. Beautiful. There you go. We have the benefit of being outside in an outdoor space, the wind and the waves and all sorts of things that happen. So, you know, your ability to adapt and adjust and kind of finding sort of a bit of a spiritual element, enjoying the elements around us. Those are all some of the nice things of taking your practice from indoors to an outdoor setting.
The Hawaiians say, never turn your back on the ocean. Their relationship with it is all-consuming. They even have different words for different types of waves. And for Canadian-born Kelsey, it was this love that lured her here.
You know, it's funny, I grew up in the prairies in Canada, so like thousands of miles from the ocean, but I always loved the ocean. I love swimming. So when I moved to Hawaii, I wanted a way to kind of spend more of my time outside. So I kind of added all my loves of the water and yoga and teaching people all together, and now we do step yoga. Nice.
This is such a spiritual and physical workout, which is exactly what the Hawaiian concept of health is all about. And when the physical, mental and spiritual parts are all in harmony, the Hawaiians call it lakahi, meaning balance. And I'm still looking for mine.
Plenty more coming up on the House of Wellness.
Feeling so strong.
Welcome back to the House of Wellness. This is a magic part of Hawaii, Hines. Have a look at the ocean. It's beautiful. The locals love to take a jump right off here. Are you keen or not?
Mate, I'm not so keen. This is called the China Walls. Thousands of years ago, when black lava came flowing down here, it hit the ocean and the waves crashed against it, creating this beautiful sharp edge.
It's also the home away from home for an old mate of mine, Hinesy, Paul Roos, AFL legend, his beautiful wife, Tammy. They've got a house here on the island. They're going to take us inside their home for a little slice of island life. Paul and Tammy Roos, thanks for joining us on the House of Wellness, and thanks for inviting us into your house here in Hawaii.
Thank you.
It's always good to have the Aussies come across, and I know you're a fan of Hawaii, so no, it's good. Thanks for coming in the house, and thanks for having us on the show.
Love it, Roos. Now I want to talk to you. For me, in a lot of ways, you changed the game in football from an era that you played in, where coaches were pretty abusive, and there was one way to get a result, and then you came in as the Zen master, we like to call you, Roosie, and brought this incredible, cool, calm, collected. Was that always with you? Was that something you wanted to do? And I believe you had a list in your desk of things that you weren't going to do as a coach. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I finished in 1998, and always really respectful, as you are, Darcy, with the old coach. It was more that they just didn't have time. I mean, the era that we started in, certainly I started in, was very much part-time. So the coach relationship, player relationship just didn't exist. So it was train harder, train longer, yell at three-quarter time, try and get a response. And it's no disrespect to Parker and Wolsey and those guys who I learned so much off. But, yeah, I sat down at my desk at the end of 1998 and wrote down the things I liked about coaches and didn't like about coaches, more from a player's point of view, because I felt the longer that coaches were out of the game, the less they had in common. So I had no idea I was going to coach, but in hindsight, it's probably the best thing I did. It really kept me accountable to the leader that I wanted to be while I was coaching. And bearing in mind that was 98 and I didn't start coaching until halfway through 2002. So it was a really, really important list for me to hold me accountable to the sort of style of leader that I wanted to become.
Yeah, Tam, you've got a PhD in meditation, and this is an area that you're as well versed on as anyone. Did Roosie always have that calmness that we see about him? Is that always him, or have you seen him? Does he lose his cool every now and then?
No, Paul's always been, I think, more of a... He does have a calm nature. The meditation definitely helped, though. I think in terms of the clarity that comes from meditating often, and that idea to have the presence and the ability to go, okay, I need to just stop and think right now before I respond. And I think one of the big things that most people don't understand with meditation is the longer that you meditate, because it's a cumulative practice, the better you get at it. So it's no different than learning to play a musical instrument or learn a foreign language. The more time you put into it, the better it is. So it's not something that you can do one day and then expect 5 days later that you're going to still be good at it. Do you know what I'm saying? So you build it up. Yeah. But I think as well, the longer you do meditate, you become less emotionally reactive, and that's huge.
You guys are out there speaking all the time, and leadership and meditation. Tam, you've just written another book. What's the message you try and pass on to people about the key to living a healthy life?
I think there's some non-negotiables in our lives for both of us, to be honest, which is exercise and meditation. Yeah. And ticking those two, I think, are huge in terms of how I start my day off. So if I start my day with the meditation, exercise, and again, I'm big on hydration, making sure you get enough water, all those things. It just sets your day up for how you're going to step out that front door so you can give your best possible self to the day. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Very much, yeah.
So for me, when I'm talking with people, I think that it's more about doing those things that you love it, but you understand our life, actually, some things do take effort. Our health, it should be something that we actually prioritize, the mental health as well as our physical health. And I think for many, that is that missing key ingredient, which is the mental health. We really need to start to learn to love the mind as much as we love the physical.
That's for you and I think we took for granted being involved in footy club. I think what I've noticed in the last 3 years being out of Melbourne and more corporate with my company and the events that we run, it's very different. It's very different. The people are so outcome focused, and so worried about budgets and so worried about shareholders and all those sorts of things. So for me, I think the biggest thing is how do we pull this notion of leadership and we create these real good leaders that are prepared to look after their staff and prepared to say, no, we're going to create this environment where we want to come into work during a day. We want to start with a meditation. We're going to meet down the tan and we're going to walk around the tan, or we're going to play touch footy at lunchtime or whatever. So we're actually starting to integrate this whole, healthy lifestyle experience rather than burning out our staff and rather than leaving it up to them to be able to do it. That, to me, is the next phase of the corporate world. Yeah. We've got to stop looking at wellness here and leadership here. We've got to start pulling them in together and say, to be a really good leader, you know, you need to look after yourself and you need to look after your staff.
And you can join you too, Nurture 360. I've been reading about it. Sounds incredible. You've got an amazing list of people joining you in Fiji for an opportunity to do exactly what you said.
Yeah, we were really lucky. Last year we got invited to Nurture Her just as speakers. And we were asked to buy into the company. We've now got 3 events, which is Nurture Change, Nurture 360, which is coming up, and Nurture Her. So it's really exciting because for us it's about walking the walk. You know, if we want to talk about meditation, wellness and leadership and business, and we want to teach people how to be healthy but also to be great leaders when they go back to their company, it's exciting for us to be part of it, and we're really looking forward to it.
You don't have to be on a gorgeous golden beach to get the flavours of Hawaii. How does my pina colada smoothie bowl sound to get you in the summery mood? The best smoothie bowls are a combination of beautiful tropical fruits and topped with superfoods. And I'm going to make this vegan, so I'm going to use coconut milk, but of course you can use any milk that you like. For that tropical Hawaiian flavour, I'm going to add pineapple, banana, and a squeeze of lime. And to sweeten it all up, I'm going to add coconut sugar and a pinch of turmeric for colour. For that warm inner glow, I'm going to add a spoonful of marine collagen powder. There's no flavour at all, so it won't affect the taste, but it will nourish your skin. And for a truly tropical feel, serve your pina colada smoothie bowls in a coconut. And add your superfood toppings. Raspberries, a little bit of toasted coconut, some passion fruit, a pinch of nuts, and some beautiful edible flowers.
You're watching the House of Wellness Hawaiian special, where Rach and I are just trying to get our heads around driving on the wrong side of the road and not getting lost at the same time.
Well, there's no such thing as a wrong turn here, Jo, because around every corner there is something new and exciting to discover.
True, which is why it's important we think about the footprint we leave behind when we travel. Responsible tourism, where we give back to the places we visit, is a growing movement.
It is. So we are headed to Haia State Park to do exactly that, give back and take care of this amazing tropical paradise that has already given us so much. That's, Jo, if we can find it.
Thanks to some directions from the locals, we finally made it. And what a location. A lush, green, out-of-the-way spot with a serene waterway. But it wasn't always like this. A dedicated team of volunteers has spent the last 4 years turning this wetland from a mangrove-infested swamp to an incredible native haven.
So the mangrove species, were they introduced by Europeans? Where did they come from?
They were first introduced to the island of Molokai in the early 1900s to help control erosion from sugarcane and pineapple fields. But the problem is that they've done such a good job, they've actually encroached on our waterways and begin to choke the waterways off.
The years of hard work have paid off. Kristen and her team have removed large mangrove forests and saved many of the native plants.
Can you show us what is native? What are we looking at?
So actually this ground cover here, this is a native species. This is...
Oh, so pretty.
It is, it's adorable. And it's edible.
Really?
Yeah.
It is edible and it's salty.
Get into it.
Incredible.
Yep.
Holy moly. I feel bad standing on it.
It's really resilient, so it can take the trampling and it gets tied every day. And that's where that saltwater taste comes from. So you could add this into salads.
And did you plant that?
We did. We planted them as very small, what we call plugs, and they've grown. So this whole mudflat area is a carpet of a kuli-kuli.
And what about all this in the background? Is that old or new?
This is old, so that is all non-native species as well. So it gives you an idea of what we were up against when we first started doing our removal work.
And speaking of removal,
It's time we don the gloves and get to work.
Because we still have a lot of mature mangrove trees in the area, we have to come back through and do a mangrove sweep and pull all of the small propagules and seedlings that are starting to grow up in the area.
Okay, go for it, Jojo. Get it out of there.
They come out very easily.
They do.
And what do? We don't chuck them.
Wow.
So these, you can actually snap them in half.
And so that will stop the growth.
They are dead.
Ah!
So you can just snap them in half.
Be gone, you evil mangroves! And just, okay. That's satisfying. Being able to give back to a place you're visiting is really something special. And a local Hawaiian company, Travel to Change, is doing exactly that, putting tourists like us in touch with projects like this.
Voluntourism is starting to be a really big thing here in Hawaii, where people take a little part of their vacation to give back, which I think is a really great way to actually get to know the place that you're visiting.
You missed one down there.
Oh, jeez. You're doing a good job. Well, I tell you what, Rach, you don't normally do this sort of thing when you travel, or at least I don't.
Oh, I don't either.
No.
But what a brilliant opportunity, and just so wonderful to be able to feel like we've given back in some way.
Absolutely. And, I mean, look at my big bucket.
Yeah, well,
it's very satisfying.
I think you got a few more than me. I'm a bit disappointed about that.
I mean, I have a long memory. And if it was a competition, I won. Okay.
It gives me such a buzz getting into local cuisine. It reminds me that you really can never stop learning about food. It's incredible, inspiring, a bit of an endless journey where there's always room for more learning and, of course, more food, which is why I'm here at the gorgeous Alohalani Resort for a masterclass in all things delicious, tropical and yum.
Oh my God, this pea puree is awesome.
David Lakella is head chef at the Alohalani Resort in Waikiki.
I'm telling you, everybody talking about us. That's what it is. And there's a reason, yeah? We come here every day, we work hard, we cook it here, right here, in the heart.
I hear this over and over again from everyone in the food business in Hawaii. A focus on preparing and sharing the very best. Something that goes way beyond taste.
Let's just go get it, that's all it is.
Every day, David and his team pump out thousands of meals, but quantity has no impact on the soul of what comes out of this kitchen.
It's bone marrowy.
Two of the best chefs to work for on this side. Yeah.
To get such respect from the kitchen staff about their head chefs is not something you hear often. But David comes to Alohalani with an impressive CV, including the famous Nobu restaurant.
You need brown butter? Right there. Awesome. I worked for the University of Hawaii at the John Burns School of Medicine for the Hawaii Center for AIDS. And I was doing science experiments for a good 8 years. And then one day I just got sick of it. And I just decided to go to culinary school and start cooking. Do we need any circulators tomorrow other than...
That passion for food stems from his Hawaiian heritage. And injecting that soul I mentioned earlier into every dish is what it's all about.
I started cooking at probably like 5. I used to be the family's like hibachi boy. So I used to help my grandpa like grill steaks for the family on Sundays, make the fires and all that. So it's kind of like what started my kind of itch for cooking.
And what about your grandma? Did she get you into cooking as well?
Oh, I'm super fortunate to have a lot of like great culinarians in my family. Like my grandma was a cafeteria lady, a phenomenal cook. My uncle's a restaurateur, and we've always kind of had that like DNA in our family about, you know, a love of food and a passion for hospitality. So, yeah, like my grandma was a big influence on my cuisine.
You can take the man out of Hawaii, but you can't take what made the man out of his food. And I can't wait to see what locally inspired creation he's got planned.
What are we making today?
Today we're gonna make the ahi nachos that we feature at our swell pool and bar here at Alohilani.
So we're starting with some onions, yeah?
Yeah, so these are some locally grown green onions here in Hawaii. So what we're gonna do is just a quick slice straight down.
So tell me about how this dish came about. What inspired you to put the Mexican twist on a Hawaiian classic?
A lot of our guests like finger foods. And one of my favorite dishes is ahi nachos as well as poke. So I decided to combine both of them and make an ahi nacho poke.
Now, poke has a significant meaning, doesn't it? Can you describe what that is?
So poke in Hawaiian means to slice. And that comes from the fish. And basically it's fresh fish with some ingredients of all sorts of varying combinations. And you mix it together with a sauce and you eat it.
Mate, look at this tuna. Can I just have a look at that?
Yeah.
Look at the colour. It is so vibrant.
So this is known as #1 grade of tuna. This is the highest grade of tuna you can get. Very special, very tasty.
Yeah, I bet. I can't wait. So it's called ahi?
Yes, this is the ahi tuna. It's a yellowfin tuna, and it's one of the great fishes of Hawaii.
I mean, this type of fish, of course, very good for you.
Look at the colour. It's amazing.
Mate, packed with omega-3, omega-6, really good healthy fats there, protein. Absolutely love it, mate. And just seared with a salt and pepper crust.
Seared, sometimes you braise it in Hawaii.
Yum.
And we're gonna actually eat it raw today because it's my favorite way to eat it.
Yes.
One of my favorite classic pairings is avocado and ahi. They're just like a handshake, hand in hand. They go so
Creamy.
well together. Creamy, that fattiness that offsets the lean of the ahi. And it's also very colorful.
What are we doing to it?
We're just gonna cube it. Try not to get yourself.
Hey, talk to me about the spoon.
Oh, so the spoon. This is actually a spoon given to me by my grandma. So it's what makes the food taste so good.
Mate, absolutely. I'm happy to go along with that any day. Now, I'm familiar with corn chips, but I ain't seen one that looks like that.
Okay, so these are wonton chips. So basically what we do is we take wonton chips.
Yeah, like the wonton wrappers, yeah?
And then what we do is we cut them into triangles and we deep fry them.
Can I crack one?
Go ahead.
Oh, mate, listen to that crisp.
That sound.
Oh, that sound. That's crunchier than any corn chips.
Yes.
So how do we prepare them?
Basically, we're gonna take wonton chips you buy and then cut them in triangles, give them a quick fry, and then it puffs up and drain the oil, and you got it right there. We're gonna top it with a little bit of sriracha aioli.
A bit of heat in there.
A little bit of heat, a little bit of spice to offset the sweet. And we'll add a little bit more of kabayaki sauce, so it's basically a thickened terry sauce to add even more sweet to the top of that. We're gonna put a little bit of our beautiful avocado for that creaminess, and we like it to complement the ahi. Add some fattiness to this dish, so spread that all over. And then just to give it a little bit of touch, a little bit of green onions on the top.
Creamy, fatty, salty, crunchy, crispy.
And a little bit of heat.
Oh, man, can I dig in?
Go ahead.
Actually, yeah.
Luke, buddy, where are you going?
Triple M's hot breakfast from Waikiki Beach
Eddie,
here.
mate, you got to try this. Poke nachos.
Magnificent.
Happy days.
We'll be back after the break.
Feeling so
Take a look at Laniakea Beach, part of what's known as the 7 Mile Miracle. The word itself means big sky in Hawaiian, and you can definitely see why. And right here is a gathering spot for one of the world's most endangered sea creatures.
There's something so special about seeing a turtle in its natural habitat, but it's even more of a buzz spotting a native Hawaiian green sea turtle, or as the Hawaiians call them, honu.
They're known to come up later in the day and bask. It's actually one of the few species that does bask. So you can come down, watch them, look at them. They're all along here, a lot of times feeding on the algae and seagrass in the water.
They're the largest hard-shelled turtle in the world, and they're also critically endangered. Which is why Alexis, a marine conservationist, dedicates her life to protecting them.
And when people come down here, can they get up close, or is it best to keep a bit of distance?
Best to keep a distance. They are wild animals. They are federally protected here in the Hawaiian Islands, or here in the U.S. So a good 3 meters, 10 feet is really good. Obviously, if they approach you, it happens. But if you see one on land, don't disturb it. It is resting.
These majestic reptiles can live up to 80 years or older and weigh over 160 kilos. And they're incredibly healthy eaters. All that algae and seagrass makes their skin turn green, hence the name.
What impact do you think we are having with the environment, littering, all of that type of thing against these turtles?
So much. From anything from our carbon output, looking at that, that's leading to some temperature rise. We're also looking at plastics. Plastics is a huge, huge thing. So a lot of people are saying recycle, but I think it's more than that. Refusing plastics at the source, shutting off the tap. Bring reusables. It's no longer about convenience, but thinking about the animals that it affects, because it's not just sea turtles. You're looking at sharks, rays, cetaceans, even our coral reefs are ingesting the plastics that we produce. So I think that's going to have a big impact on them.
Thanks to the efforts of Alexis and so many here on the islands, the green sea turtle population is slowly increasing. While they continue their invaluable work here saving turtles, there's a team back in Honolulu that are saving lives.
Here at the Queen's Medical Centre in Honolulu is a team at the forefront of surgery. This includes not only the surgeons, but a team of robots.
At Queen's, we actually have about 5 robots altogether. So we're the biggest robotic program, not only in Hawaii, but one of the bigger ones in the Western United States.
Like something from the future, surgeries can be performed from a console outside the operating theatre.
Number one, the view is magnified. You get a 3D view of the field, so you have some depth of field. The other thing that happens is the motions are filtered. So if you make a big motion with your hand, the robot makes a tinier motion, and that gives you more precision as you're operating. Each one of these arms are interchangeable. So we have scissors, we have specialized graspers designed for different tissues. This particular device here is actually designed to hold needles to suture with. One thing that's helpful with the robotic system is we have a touchscreen here. I can actually instruct him with the touchscreen and tell him to say, move this piece over to there. And you can see here Kai is now grabbing that piece and he can move it over for me.
The amazing ability of these robots means they can be used in all sorts of surgeries.
Anything from inguinal hernia repairs to abdominal reconstructions. Urologists use it routinely for prostate cancer, and that's probably one of the more common uses for the robot.
However, like most laparoscopic surgeries, the robots need several cuts for the arms to get into the body. Until now.
So one of the new technologies that have come out recently is something called the Da Vinci SP, single port.
The newest kid on the block has all the arms going into the body through only one hole.
Tumors at the back of the throat are based at the tongue because the ENT surgeons can just go through the mouth. For rectal cancer, we can go through the anus and take out tumors in the rectum. And some GYN procedures, the patients don't want to have multiple scars or big scars, and we can generally hide the scar inside the belly button. The first application of this particular robot, the SP, was actually a patient who's not from here. He lives in Thailand, and he had a tumor in his rectum that he needed to have removed. There have been several attempts to remove it with other means, and it kept growing back. So he came all the way from Thailand to have his surgery done here. And he had excellent results. We were able to get the entire tumor out.
Not only does Queen's have cutting-edge robots, they've taken it to the next level.
In this simulator here, I can actually practice doing repairs of the inguinal hernia. So I'm actually going to make a cut here and cut the tissues. But this allows our trainees to sit down at a simulator and before they even touch a patient, learn how to do basic procedures like inguinal hernia repairs. There's a module for doing hysterectomies and a module for doing prostatectomies.
So at the Queen's Medical Centre, it's fair to say that the future is here.
Robotics are getting more capable, they're getting less expensive. I think pretty much in the future, robotic surgery is going to be a very common way a lot of surgery is being done.
Hey, great to see they're doing incredible things with robotics here in Hawaii's hospital, Heinze, and always the ocean is magnificent. So every time I'm here, you just want to jump straight in the water.
Well, mate, when we're talking all things water, here in Hawaii, they actually make a bottled water that's pumped from 2,000 feet below the Earth's surface. And they say that it's packed with health benefits that improve circulation, metabolism. Mate, it is going off in Japan.
That sounds cool.
But we're not in Japan, we're in Hawaii, and Hawaii is known for its surf culture. Are you going to hit the waves?
I don't think you'll see me surfing pipeline on the North Shore anytime soon, Heinze, but I'm genuinely up for a surf out here. It doesn't get any better than surfing in Hawaii, so I'm game. Wish me luck, mate.
Get out there.
Hey, Lumpy. I'm Luke, local Hawaiian surf legend. 25 years you've been on this beach, Lumpy.
Yes.
I think this might be your greatest challenge, mate. 6'6". So you're going to get me up on a wave out here or not?
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Lumpy, what do I need to know?
Need to listen to me. Lay on the board. All right. Keep your feet together. Relax. Paddle forward. 2 hands together. Slowly. Okay, get up. Hands to your chest. On your knees. Left foot up first. Stand up and turn. Relax. Stand straight. Get your feet a little closer together.
Closer together.
Yeah. No need to bend over. No squatting down. Stand up straight.
I don't know what Hinesy goes on about. Sure, this mightn't be the 3-metre swell of pipeline, but I reckon I've got this one nailed.
Good job, brother.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate
Great job,
it, Lumpy.
Best surfer I had all year. Hey, Luke, throw the board on your shoulder.
Thanks, Lumpy.
Drag it down. We'll carry it down the beach.
Feeling so strong.
This is the House of Wellness, and while Darcy is cutting up the waves in Waikiki, the big waves, I mean the perfect barrelling breaks, are right here. And this one, the Banzai Pipeline on Oahu's North Shore, is one of the most legendary of them all. But before I go big or go home out there, I'm going to go small by looking at the microscopic marine plant life that has some incredible healing benefits.
I'm Dr. Jerry Sasuski. I've been told I'm the father of microalgae. I don't know about that, but I have made it my life's work for the last 40 years.
Jerry is the king of superfoods. He grows blue-green algae to produce spirulina, and this red algae for astaxanthin, 2 of the most powerful nutrients on the planet.
And they grow extremely fast, probably 10 times faster than land plants.
And there's so many of them, over 30,000 varieties, all thriving here in these huge ponds, churned up by the water wheels so they all get exposed to the hot Hawaiian sun.
This location here on the Kona coast of the Big Island of Hawaii is probably the best place in the world to grow microalgae. It gets more sunlight than any other coastal location in the United States. It's warm 12 months a year, so it can produce 12 months a year.
Needless to say, Jerry is a big fan. Spirulina is 65% protein and has a very high vitamin content.
It also contains a unique blue pigment called phycocyanin that helps protect both the liver and kidney from toxin, as well as immune-stimulating compounds. So people that use spirulina report having much more energy and really never getting sick.
It's a pretty good rap from the man who makes it, right? And Jerry's just as keen on the red microalgae too, even though it's 10 times harder to make.
They both start off green. Spirulina stays green, it's blue-green. Haematococcus actually starts green, and when it's stressed, it forms a spore and rapidly starts accumulating astaxanthin. The process of going from green to red takes about 7 days.
But Jerry reckons it's all worth it to produce the most potent natural antioxidant known.
So it really helps with inflammation in the body. It actually protects the skin from UV radiation. It helps with joint pain. It's really a wonderful product. The athletes here, the triathletes and the Ironman, really swear by BioAst and natural astaxanthin.
Who'd have thought that something that looks like slime and can be morphed from green to red and snap-dried in less than 20 seconds would be that good for you?
The world's oceans are a wellness wonderland, from the mighty power of the massive waves to the microscopic algae. We have to look after it, right, Joe?
That's right, Heinz. Here on the House of Wellness, we're all about the healing power of nature, and nobody knows that more than our man of herbs, Gerald Quigley.
Aloha, GQ.
Hi, Joe. You are looking very laid back. Did you know that Hawaii is one of the healthiest states in the US?
Oh, you know, it's because of the fitness and the sun and the spirituality. And one of the biggest impacts, actually, was a law that was passed in the 70s that said that employers had to provide health insurance for their employees.
It was a good move, wasn't it? Now, Heinzie told us about the importance of microalgae and their role in health. What we have to do is look after our algae because they really are a goldmine of goodness. And what's interesting is that they are responsible for the natural feed of many of the fish and seafood aspects that we actually enjoy. And they produce a red oil-soluble pigment, which is called a carotenoid.
Yes.
And that's responsible for the animals that eat it, being their colour. So prawns and crabs and krill, they eat that and they go that red colour.
Okay,
And that
same with pink flamingo.
Yes, that substance is astaxanthin. Fascinating, but it's got great depth for human health. Very important for so many aspects of staying well. The animals know we've got to pick that up as well.
What does astaxanthin do?
It's what we call an antioxidant, Joe. It interferes with the process of degeneration, so ageing, breakdown, so important for our skin, our heart, our eyes, our brain, our joints. And we're learning more and more about astaxanthin. It will be the star of the future. You wait and see.
All the more reason to really enjoy the salmon and shellfish that is everywhere here in Hawaii. Who is going to benefit from this?
Really, Joe, anyone interested in their long-term health. So a person worried about their cardiovascular health, their joint health, someone trying to rebalance their cholesterol levels, or looking for endurance. So really offsetting some fatigue. It's a brilliant nutrient.
GQ, even more reason to go for seconds at the seafood buffet here at the Aloha Lani Resort. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
The A to Z of Vitamins is brought to you by Caruso's Natural Health Hawaiian Astaxanthin. Welcome back to the House of Wellness. I've always wanted to hit up Hawaii's food trucks, and I know this is usually Heinzie's domain, but what can I say? Shove over, Heinzie. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yum, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, what started out as mobile food wagons for plantation workers in the 30s has turned into a booming industry, and they're still churning out delicious quality food at incredible prices, and it tastes as good as ever. While I am super happy here, Heinzie and Das are getting a kickstart Hawaii style with my next favourite thing, wine. No, I mean delicious cup of locally grown coffee.
Now, Heinzie, you're an absolute health freak, and everything that you eat and drink is carefully prepared and maintained. But we love coffee, and I thought I'd bring you to the Honolulu Cafe, which they tell me best place in Hawaii to get a coffee.
Mate, what are you going to get?
I love a latte, you know, mate. I'm from Melbourne. That's how we roll down there.
Buddy, I've heard lattes are for ladies. Hopefully they do some MCT and butter.
We'll check it out. Let's go. Heinzie loves his bullet coffee, but one thing we both agree on is that what makes a great coffee is its flavour. And in this neck of the woods, you can't get any better than Kona coffee. It's one of the most rare and expensive coffees on the planet. And the Honolulu Coffee Company makes sure these locally grown beans go straight from the farm to the cup.
Coffee needs a lot of specific things to happen in order to produce really, really good coffee. And in Kona, we just have the perfect mix of everything from rainfall in the morning time, sunshine in the afternoon, and that high mineral content volcanic soil.
Beautiful. And I love the fact that we've got the roaster right in the middle of the shop here. Is there a big coffee culture here in Hawaii?
Yeah, we're seeing a huge jump in the coffee culture over here, and I think that we had a lot to play with that, and it's just getting more and more busier and busier every single year.
I've got to ask, how many coffees is like good for a day? I mean, is there a set amount? What do you think the max coffees per day? We're always talking about this at work.
No max coffees. What? No max coffees. At least one, and then until your heart's full.
Or the heart stops.
One or the other.
I know one.
Well, I definitely need a heart starter, so I'm keen to put this liquid gold to the taste test.
Just get a little bit from the top and...
What the hell was that doing there?
I cannot wait to see you do this.
We're going from left to right.
Okay, that'll be that side.
Oh, sorry.
So just off the top?
Yep.
Oh.
Perfect.
Whoa, I like that. A little bit of licoricey sort of flavour in that one. Oh, mate, what are you...
That's like a first
It's like trying to feed a 3-year-old. That was embarrassing, mate.
It is, I agree with you. It is a little bit aniseedy.
Yeah, a little bit of licorice there.
Yeah, there is. Engage it, mate. Engage
Spray
it.
it as far back.
It's good stuff, mate. How's that? Painful.
I
don't know.
It was better than the first time.
Oh, bit of a dribble there.
What are we looking for? A bit of licorice in that one.
Okay.
Bit of sort of melon, grapefruit or something. Am I on the money or not?
You're pretty close.
Melon, licorice, key words on the cover. You totally were reading that before.
But having said that, I like that one. I like the licoricey sort of taste of the first one, actually.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
So this is actually the 100% Kona from our own farm.
Hey, good work, Darcy.
Yeah. Well, blind tasting, 100% my favourite. You're local, so straight from the farm, straight to the cup.
Yep.
Thomas, beautiful. Well
Thank
done.
you.
I like it.
Thank you, mate. I love it. Cheers to...
Yeah.
Mate, I totally saw you checking out that packet. You didn't know there was melon in that coffee.
100% deny that. Really refined palate I've got, Joe, I have you know. Now, sadly, our Hawaiian adventure's coming to an end. I love this place. I want to stay.
Oh, it's so beautiful, and it's so much more than lays, luau's and lava, you know? The Hawaiian concept of health, it's exactly what we're always talking about, getting the balance right. You know, it's being active, it's being mentally strong, it's being connected with your spiritual side, and all of that is here for the taking.
And the giving back, Joe. Hawaiians are so heritage conscious, and I feel like they've got such a respect for their environment. The Travel to Change story was a real highlight for me.
For me, guys, it was the food. Oh my goodness, I have sampled some incredible cuisine, and it was such a good reminder of that you need to respect the land, understand where the food came from, and always cook with love.
And I'm obsessed with the water here. Getting into this crystal blue water is as good as it gets. I'm going to really miss that. Hey, thanks to our team behind the scenes at House of Wellness for making this happen. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Go to houseofwellness.com.au. Thanks to Hawaiian Tropic and Chemist Warehouse. This has been our Hawaiian special, thanks to the House of Wellness.